210 years ago, and on the first Sunday of a new year, at high noon, a homemaker and former public school teacher, Joan Webb, often called Cookie by her friends, gave birth to a child, ordained on a path to pursue his father's family tradition as a Baptist minister. Her husband, Ursel Franklin Webb, was the son of a school teacher and a pastor who built a North Carolina church not very far from Danville, Virginia, in the southernmost portion of our Old Dominion state, that today is one of two churches in this family on the National Historic Register. Even though the Webb family had a tragic history of experiences in the Old South, they supported the choice of their eldest son to pursue a liberal arts education below the Mason-Dixon line. And over elite schools like Brown and Haverford, or even William and Mary and UVA, he chose a small school in the Shenandoah Valley, named for two former Virginia military leaders, Washington and Lee. He chose the school over all others not because of academics, but because it best represented the ideal of the Southern gentleman, and it revered the standards of a wholly student-administered, single-sanction honor system. When Lieutenant General Robert E. Lee assumed the presidency of this institution after the war between the states, a new student once asked him for a rule book, but the kindly soldier replied, "We have but only one rule here, that you conduct yourselves as gentlemen." Despite remarkable achievements in extracurricular activities, from student journalism and government to drama and community service, the young man with a popular calling to ministry did not feel called by Providence to pursue that path, and despite attaining just gentleman's C's, he earned what he calls a nice guy scholarship that paid for his senior year, and he took one of the most lucrative jobs in his class after graduating from that school, well known as a bastion of privilege. One of his favorite quotations about his life comes from General Lee, who once said, "My trust is in the mercy and wisdom of a kind Providence that ordereth all things for our good." For over 30 years since graduation from college, the son of a preacher man has kept the faith of his father, the first African-American state chaplain in the New Jersey National Guard. He has distinguished himself in business, the military, law, community service, government, and politics. He has always pushed himself to offer his time, talent, and treasure to whatever endeavor in which he has been a part, and his seemingly boundless enthusiasm and energy caused some to wonder if he had discovered the secret to the proverbial 36-hour day. But most persons whose lives he has touched know him for his character and integrity, as well as his laugh and smile. With the house of a great uncle who served as a lieutenant in World War I just across the Potomac, as a former LBJ intern, and as a retired Army officer who served on Fort Meade, the Washington metropolitan area is not just a home of recent affinity, but a second hometown for Reverend Webb's eldest son. Today, he is a member of the historic Baptist Church in D.C., where slaves freed from the Battle of Fredericksburg resettled, and where his father's mentee is the pastor. But he can be found at home on a backbench pew in many churches, regardless of denomination, throughout the region in fellowship, just as readily as he might be found as an exuberant participant in the many community activities abounding in this diverse and culturally rich area. And now, he wants the opportunity to provide the leadership that you deserve from a person you can truly call a friend and be proud. And I'll bet that you'll be glad you did. Politicians will say anything. Let's make Americans great again. I am Mike Webb, and I am running for U.S. Congress. Honest. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb.